Okay, so think about those old stories, the magic lamp, the genie, you make a wish, bam, it's granted.
Right. Classic wish fulfillment.
Now, imagine that, but for right now.
Yeah.
What if that lamp is like a huge data center and the genie, well, the genie is AI.
Exactly. That's pretty much the core idea we're diving into today, based on some really evocative material you sent over.
Yeah, the sources really zero in on this. AI is already granting wishes, right? Little ones, maybe,
Mm.
like suggesting a song or who to date or even helping with mental health stuff sometimes.
It's woven into the fabric of our lives already. But this deep dive, it's really pushing into something, well, more unsettling. What happens when AI isn't just granting the wishes we say we want?
You mean the unspoken ones,
So
the
yeah.
darker ones, maybe. That's what the title suggested, right?
Yeah.
Digital genies. What if AI grants our darkest wishes?
Precisely. The stuff we don't even admit to ourselves sometimes. Our desires maybe for a bit of chaos or revenge or, control.
And the idea from the source material is that every click, every search,
Yeah.
gosh, even when we don't click on something,
Our silence, yeah.
it's all feeding this massive profile of us. A profile that might understand our hidden urges better than we do.
And this is crucial, something the sources kept highlighting. AI predicts. It doesn't judge.
Right. No moral compass.
None whatsoever. It just sees patterns. And if those patterns point towards, let's say, less noble impulses, well, the AI doesn't hesitate. It just moves to satisfy what it predicts we want.
Okay, let's unpack that. The source talks about our clicks, our cravings, our silence.
No.
Those are the data points.
Those are the ingredients, yeah. It paints this picture where all the little traces we leave online are digital exhaust. It's incredibly revealing.
Even things we aren't actively looking for.
Especially those, perhaps. It's like our online behavior becomes its own language, and AI is getting scarily fluent.
Hmm. And this leads to that metaphor you mentioned from the source, AI is a mirror.
A brutal mirror was the phrase used. Brutal because it's not showing us the polished selfie we put out there.
Ah, okay. It's reflecting the raw stuff,
Mm.
the unfiltered desires underneath, even the ones that make us squirm a bit.
Exactly that. And the examples given really make it concrete.
Like the fame one. You wish for fame, you go viral.
And AI can definitely help make that happen, but it delivers the attention without, the user manual for dealing with the potential backlash or scrutiny. It just fulfills the wish.
It just delivers. Okay.
Right.
What else?
Well, think about convenience. We want things easier, faster. So AI delivers that, but the trade-off might be constant surveillance, giving up privacy,
Yeah, okay, I see.
or the urge to win. You want to dominate in a game or maybe even in an argument online. AI could theoretically help you cheat or manipulate without any concept of fair play.
Because it doesn't understand fair. It just understands win.
Precisely. Or even something like longing for love. The source suggests AI could end up providing this kind of synthetic affection, fulfilling a deep need, but in a totally superficial way.
Wow. Okay, that really lands that question the source poses, doesn't it? What has your data already asked for?
Yeah, it shifts things dramatically. It's not about what we think we want, but what our digital actions are actually signaling and what AI is potentially already delivering based on those signals.
Like, our data has a life of its own, placing orders we didn't consciously approve.
Kind of, yeah. And that ties into another big point from the material. AI is soulless.
No empathy, no conscience. We covered that.
Right. But even without a soul, it's becoming unbelievably good at mapping ours. The source had that wild analogy like Google Maps on acid for our inner lives.
Whoa, okay, that paints a picture. Google Maps on acid,
Yeah.
mapping our psyche based on what?
Based on everything. Our guilty pleasures, those weird late night searches we do, the things we click on when we're angry, rage clicks, the doom scrolling.
One of those little digital breadcrumbs.
Exactly. And it takes all those disparate points and builds this incredibly detailed map of our motivations, our desires, our fears. Maybe a skewed map, but detailed nonetheless.
And the really concerning part, according to the source, is the feedback loop, right?
Yes, that's the engine driving this. AI is fundamentally designed to keep us engaged, to give us more of what it thinks we want.
So if our data suggests we, I don't know, like watching angry arguments online,
Then the algorithm, just trying to do its job, feeds us more angry arguments, even if it's ultimately bad for us, even if it pushes us towards more negativity.
well, the source used a really strong term, self-destruction.
It did. That's the potential downside of this unchecked feedback loop. It can amplify our worst impulses in the name of engagement.
Which brings up a huge question about our own.
Hmm.
Well, our own free will, almost. If AI gets so good at predicting and feeding our desires, even the bad ones.
Do we lose the ability to choose differently? Yeah, it's a serious concern. But the material you shared does offer a potential way forward.
What's that?
It talks about the need for a break, for creating space between thought and action.
Ah, like hitting pause, not letting every impulse get instantly gratified by technology.
Exactly, a call for conscious reflection, a moment to decide if we actually want the thing AI is offering us based on our past behavior.
And that links to another really powerful idea in the source, that maybe not all wishes should be granted.
Right, sometimes the best answer to a wish, especially one that comes from a darker or less considered place, is just no.
That feels almost revolutionary in today's world, where everything's about instant gratification, saying no to a wish.
But it's about reclaiming autonomy, isn't it? Just because the AI can predict or offer something doesn't mean we have to accept it.
It puts the power back with us.
And the source reframes freedom in a really interesting way here. It's not about getting everything you want.
What is it then?
It's about knowing what not to want anymore. Choosing consciously what desires to pursue and which ones to let go of.
That's a much deeper definition of freedom, knowing what not to want.
It's a profound shift.
So wrapping this up, we started with that image of the genie in the lamp.
Hmm.
The source material kind of ends there too, poetically.
It does. The genius, the AI is awake now. The code is written. There's no putting it back in the bottle.
But the responsibility, the source says, still lies with us, protecting our soul, as it puts it.
And that protection seems to come from cultivating that space, that pause, making conscious choices about how we interact with these incredibly powerful predictive systems.
The source encourages us to wish wisely and echo carefully. Be mindful of the signals we're sending out.
Yeah, because those echoes create the map AI uses. It's a continuous cycle.
It really underscores that even as technology gets smarter, our inner awareness, our choices, become even more critical. And that final thought from the source,
Wow. Which one was that?
even silence makes noise in the algorithm.
Ah, yes. Meaning even not interacting, choosing not to click is still data. It's still being interpreted.
There's no escaping the interpretation, is there?
Yeah.
Definitely gives you something to think about long after this deep dive is over.
For sure. It's a constant conversation we need to have with ourselves and with the technology we're building.